What's good, Horror Horde? This is your boy Horror Gamer back with another video for you. And in this video, I'm going to be doing something different. I'm going to start a new series called Comic Review for You. And in this very first issue or edition, if you will, of Comic Review for You, I'm going to be reviewing The Walking Dead Compendium 1. Now, before I get into this review, remember, your boys' reviews, as always, have spoilers all day, every day. So if you haven't read the first compendium, stop this video, go read the compendium, come back, let me know what you think, let me know if you agree with some of my opinions, let me know if you liked it, let me know if you hated it. Now, with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to jump right into it because there's a little bit to talk about. So, as we all know, the comic book The Walking Dead has finally come to an end. 193 issues of The Walking Dead. 193. It's gone on for, about 10 years? A little over 10 years? And it has spawned a TV show of the same name and various spin-offs, a new one coming out later in 2020. So, where do I begin? Well, first off, it covers issues, the first compendium, Compendium 1, as you can see on the screen, has Tyrese, Carl, Rick, Michonne, Glenn, and, of course, Lori. And this issue number 1, Compendium 1 of The Walking Dead, covers from issues 1 to 48. That's a lot of issues. That's 48 issues of the comic. And in this one, it stems from when Rick wakes up from the coma all the way up to when Woodbury attacks the prison. Now, I'm not going to go into super duper detail and review every page for you, but what I will do is I will give you a couple highlights of the compendium. So we all know, very first issue, Rick gets shot and wakes up from a coma. You know, there's that high-speed chase, and Rick ends up getting shot by that guy in the car, and he wakes up from the coma in the middle of the zombie apocalypse. And he is looking for his family. That's the first thing he wants to do, is find Lori and find Carl. So, you know, he sets out to his house where he meets Dwayne and Morgan, and they help him get to the police station where he gets guns and everything and finds his way to the car. He gets all these guns and stuff, and he gives Dwayne and Dale guns and has them, you know, train with the guns or whatever. That's not here nor there. So he goes out and he ends up running into a group. He runs into Glenn in the city when he's being cornered, and Glenn takes him to his group. Well, in Glenn's group, he finds his wife, he finds his son, and he finds his best friend Shane. And we all know who Shane is. Shane is his partner and his best friend, at least before the zombie apocalypse. So he meets up with them, all is well, all is good, happy ending, blah, blah, blah. Well, what you don't know is Shane and Lori end up building themselves a good old relationship while this zombie apocalypse happened, and so that's all gone now that Rick's back. Well, as Rick makes friends with this new group, you know, becomes one of them, Shane, our buddy Shane, gets a little jelly because now he doesn't have Lori anymore. Well, it stems where they end up leaving the campsite because they get attacked, and they find a place that they go into, because see, here's where the show differs from the comic. Okay, there's a lot of deaths in this comic that in the show somebody else had the honor, if you will. There's a couple other people in the comics. Like, there's a family of a mother and a father, and 2 kids who end up orphaned because during the attack, their mother gets killed. And then, no, I'm sorry, they find a new place, and then it's wintertime, and then when the snow thaws, there's a sign that says, get out, there's dead in there or whatever. And then they end up getting attacked by a horde of zombies, and they kill them out. Well, the dad ends up dying later in the prison, so they become orphaned. And also, Andrea in the comic book ends up having a thing for Dale. So they end up, after she loses her sister, which happened in the show, she ends up falling in love with Dale, the old guy. And Dale lives a pretty long time. Like, not like he does in the show. He dies in season 2. And Shane lasted a long time in the show, but in the actual comic itself, he only lasts the first issue. He gets killed in the last issue, or the last pages of the first issue. So technically, Shane doesn't make it to the farm in the comic book. But after they go to Herschel's farm, they meet Herschel, they meet Maggie, that storyline where Glenn and Maggie fall in love. They decide to go to the prison, and yes, Lori ends up getting pregnant, and a lot of the compendium is them meeting, up with a couple other people. They meet Herschel, they meet Billy, Herschel's son, Maggie, and all them. And then they all go to the prison. Well, then about halfway through, they meet Tyrese, which he's an okay guy. He's not too bad. But he helps him out and stuff. And Carol actually ends up committing suicide in the comic. So I know in the show she's alive and well and a fucking badass, but actually in the actual comic book she goes crazy because Tyrese cuts it off with her to go with Michonne, and so she ends up killing herself by walking into a zombie. And so Carol's no longer in the thing, and Rick loses his hand at Woodbury because the governor is an asshole. And I'm telling you, the governor, when they captured Rick, Michonne, and Glenn, he tortured Michonne in this. I'm telling you, he raped her and beat her and just, it was so bad. But Michonne ended up getting her revenge because she ended up nailing his balls to a wooden plank, cutting his arm off, sticking a spoon in his ass, and digging his eye out with that spoon that had, ass residue on it. It was crazy. It was so crazy. Well, we all know the story. The governor captures, in the show, the governor captures Herschel and Michonne, but in this one, the governor captures Tyrese. And yes, in the comic, Tyrese gets the honor that Herschel got in the show with his head getting cut off. But Herschel still dies in the prison. He just gets shot, him and his son. And I hate to break it to you guys, Lori survives childbirth, but when the governor attacks the prison, her and Judith die. And that's where Compendium 1 ends. So, go out there, get it, read it, let me know what y'all think. I give Walking Dead Compendium 1 flat 10 out of 10, and that's it. And that's my review, 10 out of 10, straight up. Go out and get it, enjoy it like I did. Come back and let me know what you think. All right, Horror Horde, with all that being said, I love you guys. Look out here in the next couple days. I'm going to do a best of 2019, my top 10 favorite horror movies of 2019. That's coming out in a couple days. And we got a couple other things coming out on the channel soon. So, I love you guys. And as always, this has been your boy Horror Gamer saying thank you. I love you. And as always, don't fear the darkness. Embrace it.